Actor, comedian, and podcaster Bowen Yang is taking a break this morning.
Yeah, the Saturday Night Live star is pausing production on his pop culture podcast, Las Culturistas, saying, quote, "Bad bouts of depersonalization are messing me up bad, but I am doing my best to get better." His words there.
Let's bring in psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig, live from New York City. Dr. Robi, I have not seen you. The last time I saw you was in a cafe on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and I'm so happy to see your face today.
Likewise, likewise.
You know, depersonalization might be something a lot of people don't know about, but it's like, it's feeling out of body, or it's feeling like you don't know what's real anymore. What could have prompted this?
Well, what we know about this kind of dissociative disorder is that it can be brought on by trauma or intense stress, sometimes a lack of sleep. Of course, certain people are genetically predispositioned to have this type of out-of-body experience, but it can be very scary because one who is suffering from this condition can feel like their life is like watching a movie from the outside, that their memories are not their own, and that they feel almost robotic and they're not even in charge of what they say.
And doctor, one of the first thoughts that I had too, do you see this happen a lot more in, actors, people who are performing all the time, who are used to being in character, and then they kind of don't know what's real and what's not? Is this kind of more prevalent in that community of performers, would you say, or no?
It's such an interesting question, but the research doesn't reveal that. What we know is that up to 74% of people may have a certain symptom, but what qualifies as having this disorder is that it is persistent and reoccurring. And that's why it can feel so disruptive to one's life. And fortunately, there are treatments that people can engage in that help reduce the symptoms so that one can go back to their regular life and feel more attached to their own body and their own mind.
Would they be prescribed to psychedelics? Because I think a lot of people who are on medication, some don't feel like going anywhere. You want to stay in the house. You want to put the covers over your head, even when you're on the meds. So for, Bowen, he's putting things on pause, putting things on hold, but it might be best to stay consistent, stay with your medicinal routine, but actually keep going to work for that sense of reality, right?
Well, what they found is psychotherapy and certain medication management can be highly successful in terms of reducing these symptoms. When someone is in this depersonalized state, not to overly obsess about the uncomfortable symptoms they're noticing, and connect yourself to your five senses, what's around you, like touch something cold, listening to music, journaling, all of those things that help reconnect you with oneself. And so sometimes you need to take yourself out of your everyday life in order to get well and strong and healthy. And it sounds like that's what Bowen is doing. And I'm so glad he's brave enough to talk about this experience, because we don't hear it a lot. And this will help so many people understand what this dissociative disorder is and that there is treatment for it.
Yeah, no one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to taking care of yourself. I just think it's so important to bring stories like this to light. Dr. Ludwig, for anybody who's watching this right now who is struggling, what other tips do you have when it comes to taking care of your mental health as we head into the weekend?
Well, I always say talk to somebody that you trust, get yourself into treatment. Cognitive behavioral therapy is highly effective. Talk therapy is highly effective. There are treatments that are very successful. So nobody has to live with these uncomfortable symptoms and, take themselves out of feeling connected. Just take the first step, and that is the best way to address your mental health and well-being.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.